ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। Living intelligently. We started a discussion last night, and towards the end, we made this point that whatever is dear to me is dear because of myself, because of the pleased self. Meaning, what I am basically seeking in my life is the pleased self. Sounds too simple, because Swamiji, our life is so complicated. So many desires are there, so many ambitions are there, so many activities are there, and people are doing so many different kinds of things, and you are simplifying in saying that all of this done merely for the pleased self. How can we believe that, understand that? If really the self is pleased, then how come people see happiness in other things? Somebody sees happiness in wealth, somebody sees in name and fame and power and whatever. How is it so? To explain this, we can give a simple example. There's a man who is once traveling, is passing through a forest. He has been walking for several hours. He is tired, hungry, thirsty because it is hot. He is looking for a place to rest, to get some fresh water so he can quench his thirst, he can take rest. Unfortunately, he happened to see on the side of this, the path, a beautiful lake. He went there, beautiful lake, very quiet, very calm, clean water. The shore of the lake was all surrounded with the trees which are all grown there. Very beautiful place. He wanted first of all to have some water, wash his face, and wanted to drink some water. So he looked down in the water to get water to drink, and then all of a sudden he stopped. He saw something in water. What did he see? He found there was a golden necklace in the water. He forgot his thirst, his hunger, forgot everything, and now what is important is this golden necklace. He looked around, there's nobody, he's all by himself, safe, and therefore when he gets that necklace, nobody to share with. He plunged, he dived into water. Fortunately, he knew swimming. He dived in water, went all the way to the bottom of the lake, got hold of the golden necklace. Looked like the necklace came in his hand, but he could not quite have it. Came up, he dived again to get hold of that necklace. The necklace was almost come in his hand, but still not quite. He dived a number of times to acquire that necklace which was lying at the bottom of the lake. His attempts were not successful. He was very tired and disappointed. not knowing what to do, how to retrieve that necklace. Disappointed, is sitting, looking around, and fortunately for him, another traveler came by, who also must be looking for a place to rest. When he came closer, this man says to him, he says, "Look, I want to share a secret with you. It is between two of us." He says, "What is it?" "I tell you something very important. One condition, that we will share whatever we get." This new man did not understand what he was talking. He said, "Okay, all right, so what do you want?" He says, "Come here, come." Look into the water. "What do you see?" "Oh, a golden necklace." He says, "Yes." You to retrieve it. He says, "Then why are you waiting for me? Why did you yourself not get that necklace?" So I've been trying. I dived a number of times. I don't seem to get it. This new man was an intelligent man. He says, "You know something? It is not where you think it is. Look up." When they looked up, they saw a necklace hanging from one of the branches of the tree, being reflected in water, creating the appearance that the necklace is in water. So sometimes a thing is not where it looks like, where it seems to be. Similarly, we see in this lake of this universe, in various accomplishments, various objects, various things, happiness. In wealth we see happiness. In name and fame we see happiness. In power and authority we see happiness. We see happiness in many things and think that that's where it is, and that's why we are chasing those things. Said yesterday, when I'm chasing even wealth, it is not that I'm chasing wealth, I'm chasing the happiness which I see in the wealth. Or when I'm chasing power or authority, I'm not chasing that again, I'm chasing the happiness which I see in that. So, people see happiness in all these variety of things. Different people see happiness in different things, and therefore they are chasing variety of things. That's why we find that people are doing different things in their life. But what they see is a reflection of happiness. One thing, when you see reflection, it must be somewhere, otherwise you can't see reflection. So this man saw the reflection of a necklace in the water. It was not where he thought he saw it, but somewhere. It was hanging from the branch of a tree. Similarly, when we see happiness, in these worldly achievements or worldly objects, we say it is a reflection of happiness, meaning that happiness must be someplace which you see there. Where is it? It is your own self. Your self is pleased. Your self is happiness, and this is what we see. Therefore, intelligent living also requires an intelligent understanding of the life. Understanding of what it is that I'm looking for in life. Answer is very simple. I am looking for happiness in life. Next, where is that happiness? Answer is, the happiness is in the form of the please the self. I feel happy whenever the self is pleased. Meaning that happiness is your own nature and you are searching for it in variety of things, and naturally you cannot find it. If you are searching for something where it is not, how can you ever find it? So this is the first lesson that Vedanta teaches. That you are looking for something in life. That you are born with a purpose or an agenda in life. You can call it agenda in life. You can call it purpose of life. You can call it goal of life. You can call it destination in life. Yesterday somebody was debating with me. Swamiji, I don't believe that, because we concluded the talk by saying that life is a journey, and journey always has a goal or destination. He says, I don't believe that life is journey. What do you believe? There is no destination in life. What do you believe? There is a purpose in life. Okay, call it purpose. Call it purpose, call it destination, call it goal, call it agenda. But we are all born with one agenda, one purpose, one destination. And not knowing where the destination is, one is searching for it everywhere. There is one great saint there was in India. His name was Kabir. And there is a famous composition of Kabir. He says, Pani mein meen piyasi. What it means is that the fish is in water and thirsty. Similarly also, we are happiness by nature and we are thirsty. Because we are looking in places where it is not. Therefore, number one, for intelligent living, we need an intelligent understanding of life. Is that that I'm seeking something in life, and what I'm seeking is to be discovered in my own self. So if we go back to the concluding section of our last night's talk, we said that Kathopanishad says that life is a journey. And there is called journey where there is destination. We contrasted it with wandering. When you're wandering, there is no destination. You just go where your mind pleases. But when there is journey or pilgrimage, then there is a destination. Thus our life is like a journey or a pilgrimage where there is destination. And in order to carry out this journey, to reach the destination, we've been giving the requisite infrastructure. Requisite equipment is given to us to carry out that journey. In the words of Kathopanishad, we are given a vehicle, we are given a chariot. So a chariot has horses, it has a chariot, a driver. Driver has the reins in his hand with which he guides the horses, controls the horses. And the horses are running on the road. So Kathopanishad says that it's an imagery. The Kathopanishad says this body is like the chariot. And our sense organs of perception are like the horses. These horses are normally running on the roads of sense objects, sense pleasures. Our intellect is the driver, is the charioteer. And our mind is like the reins. And you and I, the ego, the individual self, we are the ones who are riding in that chariot. So where we will end up depends upon the charioteer, understand where he takes us. See, when you go to a new place, suppose you go to Rome, Italy, those taxi drivers are very well known. At least I know many years ago when I visited, well known for taking you for a ride. You get down at the airport and you say that I want to go to a particular hotel, which is right across there. He'll give you a whole round the city and bring you here. Meaning that where we reach is not decided by us, it is decided by the driver. Similarly also, the destination in the life that we reach in our life is not decided by us, it's decided by our charioteer, which is our intellect. If the charioteer or the driver has the knowledge of what the destination is, and also the path leading to the destination. Those days they did not have a GPS, meaning that in fact we did not have. When I used to live in the United States, there was no GPS. You had to know the destination as well as the road. For that, you had some assistance. I remember that when we were planning a trip, we would write to State Farm or some insurance, or state insurance company. Write to them, I want to go to Florida and such and such place. They'll send you the maps, whole little book, different maps, and you follow that. Meaning, for carrying out the journey, you must know where you want to reach, what the destination is, and what the path leading to destination is. If this clarity is there, if a map is right, then today or tomorrow you will reach your destination. If the map is wrong, regardless of what you do, you can never reach your destination. Is it not so? No doubt, if you are driving, you must have a motor car which is in good condition, which is tuned up, which is filled with gas, and you are a good driver who is well trained. Of course, all this is required. But even if you have all this and do not have the right understanding of destination or the path, then you will not be successful in the journey. This person gave an example. He says, once we went to Chicago, had a map of Chicago, and want to reach various destinations. He was all well prepared with his car, which was tuned up, filled with gas, he was a good driver, everything was in order. And according to the map, they kept on driving to reach a given destination. For hours together, they would not reach the destination, they would not come. Finally, he went to the gas station and asked for help. So, what's the matter? How come I'm not reaching my destination? The gas station attendant says, he looked at the map, said, this is a wrong map. It said the map of Chicago. In fact, it was a map of Milwaukee. But by printing error, it said Chicago. If you had something like this, you can never make it. Similarly, in our life also, if the map is wrong, we can never make it, meaning we can never reach the destination. Understand that we are working with a given map as we understand. What is our map? Our map is that happiness, the destination is the wealth or some worldly accomplishment. That is my destination, which is where the happiness is. And I am striving for the whole of my life in achieving those ends, one after the other, and still not finding what it is that I am looking for. Like diving in that lake. The garland, the necklace seems to come in my hand and eludes me. Similarly, I reach a goal. I want to be a millionaire. And with a lot of struggle, I became a millionaire. I thought that I've reached the goal of my life. It felt very good. I'm a millionaire. For some period of time, for a few months. And then I got used to that. What next? Then second million, third million, etc., etc. Thus a destination keeps changing because every destination I find is not quite what I want. And so we require Vedanta to give us the right map of life. Vedanta does not say that there is anything wrong with the worldly accomplishment. Doesn't say that. Doesn't say that you should not have money or you should not have those things. It doesn't say that. All it teaches us is that there should be a right value for everything and right priorities in life. That money definitely has value. And similarly, name or fame, recognition, power, authority, all of them have some value in life. But they are means, they are not the end. Unfortunately, a normal human being thinks that they are the end. They are the means and not the end. Means for what, Swamiji? Means to accomplish some other end. Therefore, what is the map? What is the destination? I am the destination. Isn't that funny? I am the destination for myself, yes. Because today my mind is running out everywhere, and therefore I am denying what I am. If in order for me to experience happiness, which is my own self, the mind must be with myself. If the mind is wandering elsewhere, how can I experience what I am or what I have? So all that we need is a very simple thing, just the mind which is with myself. And that's what happens whenever we have a moment of happiness. If you examine that moment, what happens is that at that moment my mind is resolved. When am I happy? Let us say that I very badly wanted something and I got it. I wanted a cell phone. It cost a lot of money in India. My father would not give me and I was struggling and struggling. Ultimately I convinced my father. He gave me a cell phone and I was ecstatic. Or I am a teenager, going to complete 18 years, high school diploma. I had this agreement with my father. My father said, look, if you get such and such score in your high school and your SAT, then I'll get you a sports car. I worked very hard and finally made it. I had a sports car. Imagine 18-year-old young man with a sports car. I mean, he's in heaven. He's happy, ecstatic. In that moment of ecstasy, what happens? Well, Swamiji, I'm enjoying my car. Really, what happens in that moment is that my mind, which was craving for that car, when that car is now owned, momentarily it becomes free from that craving. It becomes resolved and becomes inward looking, meaning that becomes free from that extrovertedness and gets resolved into myself momentarily. That is when I experience that ecstasy, that happiness. So even if you examine a moment of happiness, we'll find that when I think that I'm enjoying the car, in fact, I'm enjoying myself. The other day, we had a very interesting experience. In India, I was traveling from Mumbai to Ahmedabad. It was a day journey. You leave Mumbai in the morning, you reach Ahmedabad in the evening. Mumbai or Bombay is well known for its Alfonso mangoes. Very delicious. So I bought a big basket of mangoes with me to bring it to Ahmedabad. And I was told that you cannot carry this basket in your coach, keep it in a brake van, and then you can collect it in the evening. So I deposited my basket of mangoes in the brake van. We were traveling, came the lunchtime. See how it is in India. All passengers are sitting, chatting, and then you develop a little bit of acquaintance and you start sharing. The lunchtime came, everybody opened their own boxes and then share with each other and having a nice time. At that time, a ticket collector happened to come by, examining tickets. And so we invited him, hey, come and join us. And we shared our lunch with him, gave him some sweets, and was very happy. Poor fellow is never treated like that. Everybody always avoids him. Was very happy. This was at about 12:30, 1 o'clock. At about 3:30 or 4 o'clock, the ticket collector came back. This time came with some mangoes, delicious Alfonso mangoes. And he was so generous. He gave a mango to each one of us. We are so happy. And particularly when these things come free, they are more enjoyable. And so I enjoyed that mango. Came evening, Ahmedabad station, I got down, went to the brake van to collect my basket of mangoes. I did get the basket without the mangoes. This is a railway officer. He has the freedom. He went to the brake van and helped himself with the mangoes. And very generously gave it to us. So when I was enjoying the mango, I thought that it was coming from him. Really, I was enjoying my own mango. Similarly also, when I'm enjoying happiness, looks like it is coming from there. Really, I'm enjoying happiness which is myself. It's very important. Our Swami says, when you look at a flower, enjoy the beauty of the flower. Remember that you are enjoying the beauty of yourself. What this flower does is to bring my mind to myself. In presence of flower, my mind becomes free. At the moment, becomes free from all anxieties, worries, all stresses, becomes resolved, becomes calm, tranquil, and in a position to enjoy that beauty. This flower becomes instrumental in creating a state of mind where I'm enjoying beauty. Whereas I think that I'm enjoying the beauty of flower, I'm enjoying the beauty of myself. Because if this flower is beautiful, I should always enjoy beauty whenever I'm with flower. If mango is happiness, I should be happy whenever I eat mango. That's not the case. Then all I need to do is to just stock mangoes in my home, and every time I feel sad I eat a mango. It doesn't work. Not only that, but first mango makes me very happy. Second mango, little less happy. Third mango, yet less happy. If you remember the olden days when youngsters are living in dormitories and hostels in India, Poor fellows get miserable food. Only on one day, on a Sunday, they have a feast. And on that day, they enjoy a sweet. And you can see they're all hungry and waiting for that. They just, land on that. And among them, they have this bet. So today is Rasgulla. So this fellow eats 5 Rasgullas, 10, 15. Then his friend says, when every Rasgulla more than 15, I'll give you 1 rupee. That is a lot of money. 16, 17, 20. But I'm greedy, I want more and more. 21, difficult. 22, more difficult. 23, all 23 come out. This is called the law of diminishing return. Then the returns start diminishing. Similarly, anything that appears to give me happiness, its capacity to give me happiness starts diminishing until a point when, in fact, becomes a burden to me. The point is that if something had the happiness, it should consistently give me happiness. That's not so. Therefore, happiness is a function of my mind. It is a disposition of mind. When the mind is resolved, it is free from all anxieties and worries and anger and likes and dislikes. So now, if happiness is the destination, then this mind, which is free from reactions, free from impulses, free from likes and dislikes, free from anxieties, free from worries, that becomes a destination, is it not so? Destination is happiness. But for happiness, I need that mind which is inward looking, which is with myself, which enjoys a tranquility. And therefore, that becomes what the means of the path. If I have this understanding, that doesn't mean that I start hating Swamiji. That does it? You mean that then money has no role in our life? We are not saying that. It definitely has a role in our life. You have a lot of responsibilities to fulfill. You require that. You require resources to live your life. You require resources to fulfill your responsibilities. And you live in a society, and therefore you live in a certain way. It's all accepted. And for that, of course, you need, the resources. In terms of money, in terms of whatever you require. But as long as we are clear about their role in our life, that they are not the end, they are only means for serving the purpose of living my life, day-to-day life, in a comfortable manner, in an effective manner. But in themselves, they cannot become the destination. In themselves, this mind is resolved of all conflicts, of all impulses, of all likes and dislikes. That mind is what I am seeking. When I have that mind, then happiness is automatically there. Happiness manifests in that mind. If you examine an experience of happiness, say while eating ice cream or doing anything which you enjoy, watching a movie, eating ice cream, playing a game, at that time you enjoy happiness. Just pay attention to whether do you feel that happiness is coming from outside or inside. Is that what you feel? Or you feel that happiness is welling up from inside. Just pay attention. When I am enjoying movie, is it from there that happiness is traveling, coming within me? or at that time the happiness is welling up from within me. We'll find that whenever we experience happiness, it is always welling up from within me, meaning that is where it is. And therefore, intelligent living requires an understanding of what we are seeking, how to find it, and then what are the priorities, what are the right values, what are the right attitudes. This basic understanding of life sets our priorities. There's no doubt the achievements of the world have a place in my life. But then they are not the end in my life. In the process of doing my day-to-day things, in the process of achieving my goals, there are two ways of doing that. One is that in living my life, if I do not live intelligently, I keep on accumulating more and more likes and dislikes, more and more agitations. That's one way of living life. There's another way of living life where I progressively become free from agitations. I become more and more calm, more and more self-satisfied. It's all simply a change of attitude. Vedanta does not say that you become a renunciate. Doesn't say that you give up what you are doing. It is not what we are doing. It is the attitude with which we are doing things that is important. One kind of attitude is conducive to creating conflicts and agitations. And other kind of attitude is conducive to creating a peace and calmness in the mind. One attitude brings about unhappiness in life. Other attitude brings about happiness in life. Doing what we are doing. So coming back to that example of Kathopanishad of a chariot, first of all, intellect, which is the driver, should have the right understanding as we just discussed. Now it has to live the life. And when you are driving your vehicle, as far as creatures other than human beings are concerned, there is only one path, no choices to be made. For human being, there are choices. We are given the freedom to choose. That's called free will. And choices are also given to us. And therefore, it becomes our responsibility to make right choices. If you make right choice, you help yourself. If you make a wrong choice, you hurt yourself. What choice is Swamiji? You mean choice between orange and apple? Choice between becoming a doctor and engineer? Choice between this house and that house? Choice between this car and that car? No, that's not the kind of choices. They're all preferences. We're not meaning that choices. Then what choices are you talking about? Kathopanishad calls these choices by these words, Shreyas and Preyas. Shreyas and Preyas. Translated in English, the path of Shreyas, the path of Preyas. Both these paths are available. Just as when we are driving and reach an intersection, how the paths are available to go on the right, left or straight. Similarly, in every situation, these two choices are available to us, Shreyas and Preyas. Upanishad says that these two, the Shreyas and Preyas, the path of good, the path of pleasant, both of them present themselves before the human being. An unintelligent person, a non-discriminative person, chooses the path of prayers, whereas a discriminating or intelligent person chooses the path of Shreyas. What is this prayers? Prayers is a pleasant, Shreyas is a good. What is pleasant? Pleasant is that which tickles, which invokes from me my cravings or urge of sense gratification. Sense gratification, ego gratification, self gratification. So one way of living life is all the time seeking or providing self gratification. What is gratification? When I feel satisfied with something. I have these sense organs of perception. 5 organs of perception, and there are 5 objects in the world. There are sounds, touch, color, taste, smell. So these objects are there all the time. They are tempting me. Good food tempts me. Good music tempts me. A movie tempts me. There are inbuilt urges in my sense organs, in my mind, and therefore there is a natural affinity that my mind has with the objects of pleasure, meaning that my mind is always looking for pleasure, what we call immediate gratification. The path of immediate gratification as against a path of delayed gratification. What is immediate gratification? That which is good in the short term, but painful in the long term. Short term gain, long term pain. This is the path of prayers, path of pleasant, path of self gratification, immediate gratification. Other is the path of Shreyas, which is perhaps short term pain, long term gain. So in every situation, one is the choice of short term gain, long term pain. Other choice is short term pain, long term gain. Unfortunately, a non-discriminating or unintelligent person invariably goes for the path or choice of short-term gain, seeks immediate gratification. Simple example is, gratification coming from simple things of life, like cup of coffee, like cup of tea, no big deal. For many years I never drank tea because it was custom in our house that as long as you are a student, you don't get tea or coffee or no caffeine. So until I became an engineer, I never tasted tea. At the most, as children ask for tea, you know what mother would do? In a glass of milk, she would add a drop of tea and then give you. That's about all. So after being an engineer, I got employed in some place, a huge establishment. I was working in one of the departments. There were a number of engineers working in that department. And they were there since a number of years. I was new. This fellow had a tea club. Every morning so the work began at 7 o'clock. Every morning at 9 o'clock was tea time. So these people had a tea club. In India, we have what we call peon. There is no such peon in America, but there is a peon who is a servant, in a particular department, who does things for people. So this peon or this servant was trained to make tea. So every morning he would make tea for all the people, all the engineers who were in that particular department. So at 9 o'clock, they will all sit around a big table tea would be served to them. They would enjoy the tea, chit-chat, have fun. I did not drink the tea. You see, when you're not part of them, you can't enjoy the whole thing. Therefore, I thought that I was deprived of the fun that they were having just because I did not drink tea. Therefore, I thought, all right, now I'm grown up. I started drinking tea along with them. I joined their tea club. So morning 9 o'clock, 1 cup of tea. Evening 3:30, another cup of tea. And that peon also was very friendly. So whenever anybody would visit me at my desk, he would often bring tea for that fellow and for me also. Soon before I realized, I was having 3, 4, 5 cups of tea every day. It was nice. Except one day, I had to go to that factory on a Sunday for some maintenance work. On Sundays, the tea club did not function, that peon did not come, and therefore there was no tea served. 9 o'clock passed, 9:30, 10 o'clock, I started getting a headache. 10:30, nausea. 11 o'clock, I threw up. So what happened to me? I did not understand. I had to go home. This experience repeated on several Sundays. Then I realized that all this was happening to me because I missed my cup of tea. Same thing would happen in the afternoon. If I missed a cup of tea, same scenario. Now, it is not I who was drinking tea, it was tea that was drinking me. Meaning that I was blackmailed by tea, I was controlled by tea. The tea gave fun, some stimulation, short-term gain, but long-term pain. Because it is addicting. Soon before you realize, you get addicted to the things. Tea is just one example. But we are addicted to millions of things. There is a very famous saying, our Swami is very fond of quoting this. Says, what is progress? Progress is converting luxuries into necessities. Progress is converting luxuries into necessities. In the olden days, in the motor cars, we did not have air conditioners. You had to specially order them and pay money. That time it was a luxury. Air conditioner was a luxury. After 15-20 years when I came back, every car had was air conditioned. Soon before I realized, it became a necessity. Now I cannot do without air conditioner. What is luxury? You may have it, you may not have it. What is necessity? You must have it. Cell phone, 20 years ago, I don't know when it first came, was a luxury. Very exciting. Something very new. Those days I had a problem with the motor car telephone, they work, do not work, and you're always worried about your daughter who was driving, and then you didn't know whether she got stranded. Now there is a cell phone. And then you keep track of everything. So thus, slowly cell phone came. And soon before we realize, it becomes a necessity. Now we cannot do without cell phone. To such an extent that before beginning of this kind of a talk, they always make an announcement, please switch off your cell phones. But people find it very difficult to switch off the cell phones. How can I remain even for a moment without my cell phone? They don't switch off cell phone. You know what they do? They put it on a vibrator mode. So others do not know, but he knows. So when I find somebody all of a sudden getting up from the audience and going out, I get shocked. I say, what happened? What did I say? Why is this fellow walking out? Then he comes back after a little while. I realize that he answered his cell phone. So he knew from vibrator that there is a cell phone. What was a luxury becomes a necessity. If we ourselves examine our life as to how it was 25 years ago, what were our necessities? Much fewer than what they are today. And today necessities. So what is progress? Necessity means what? Dependence. Our dependence is increasing. We are becoming more and more dependent, meaning that my comfort or my happiness depends now upon 500 things. Formerly, it depended on 50 things. Now, it depends on 500 things. Thus, every luxury becomes an addiction. It comes as a guest, lingers on to become host, stays on to enslave us. Soon, before we realize, we become slaves. All these choices are short-term gain, long-term pain. This is a game of addiction. We call those fellows addicted or addicted to drugs, and so we are all free because we are in the same boat. Understand that all of us are addicted to many things, meaning that we cannot do without them. When my comfort and happiness or sense of well-being depends upon things, I am dependent upon that. That's called addiction. In Vedanta we call it attachment. Call it addiction or attachment. And when there is attachment, the opposite of that is called aversion. So anybody who comes in the way, now imagine with some storm coming in New Jersey and they are without lights for days together. Miserable condition. I hate that. People are so angry at the authorities. How can you do this? They have overhead lines, conveying electricity, and then they all fall down in the storm and they're without electricity. We can't do without those things. It makes us angry. When things do not go our way, we become angry. When there is attachment which is not fulfilled, it raises aversion. Attachment and aversion. So thus, they keep on adding. And both this attachment and aversion, both of them keep our mind always extrovert, away from ourselves. They pull our mind away from ourselves. Thus a mind that is in control of attachment and aversion is a mind which is diverse from myself, which is deprived of the very happiness and peace which is my nature. So one way of living life is keep on increasing attachments and aversions. That's an unintelligent way of living. That's called prayas. Because when attachment is satisfied, there is a momentary gratification. But I become dependent, ultimately leading me to a dependence and a long-term pain. Thus a life of fulfilling attachments and aversion, which is what a person does. An ordinary person thinks that when a desire arises in my mind, I should fulfill it. Because we see success or happiness in fulfilling desires without even asking what this will lead me to. I'm not saying don't fulfill your desires. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is when a desire arises in the mind, then we at least wait for a moment and ask our mind, what do I seek to achieve by fulfilling this desire? At least that much we can ask. There are two kinds of desires. There are many things that we don't have and we need them. So we can't grudge it. I'm feeling cold, I need a blanket, that's a requirement. I'm hungry, I need food, that's a requirement. So there are many requirements that we have, one kind of desires for things that we don't have. But there is another kind of desire, which is a funny desire. What is that desire? Again, here is a man One Sunday morning, on Sunday morning people take it easy. The newspaper comes, you have a cup of tea, read a newspaper, relax. So here is a man, one Sunday morning, reading his newspaper. He has put on his reading glasses so that he can read the newspaper. Reading it. Comes along his friend. Now with reading glasses he can't see properly, so what he does, he tucks his glasses above his head like that and talks to his friend. His friend is visiting him, stays there for 15-20 minutes, they share a cup of tea, that fellow goes away, and this fellow starts resuming reading his newspaper again, but he cannot read without glasses. He starts looking for his glasses. Where did I keep my glasses? Under the paper, under here, there, in the drawer. In all sorts of places, this fellow is looking for his glasses. He can't find them. And slowly he loses his temper. He says, has anybody seen my glasses? His wife is in the kitchen and she is listening. She doesn't reply. Have you seen you are always keeping my things away. When are my glasses? So she comes out and watches his drama. Says, what's the matter? What's the problem? Well, after a while, I think the relationships are like that, What's the matter? In the beginning, you're obedient, slowly and slowly, you find your own niche. What's the matter? My glasses, where are my glasses? I don't know. So thus, this fellow is so frustrated, he can't find his glasses, he can't read his newspaper. And the wife is all watching this drama. Fortunately, his 10-year-old son comes along. And he sees them. He asks him, son, beta, have you seen my glasses? Son is looking at the father. What glasses, Dad? My reading glasses. Have you seen them? Oh yes, Dad, I have seen them. But tell me, where are they? With one condition, you should let me go for the movie in the evening, then I'll tell you where they are. Yes, you can go to the movie. Where are my glasses? Oh Dad, they're right on your forehead. Oh, that is what they are. So this is also a desire. What? Desire for glasses. Isn't that a desire? But is it desire for something that I do not have? Or is it desire for something that I think I do not have? So understand, there are two kinds of desires. One is a desire for what I do not have. Other is a desire for what I think I do not have. So I don't have a motor car, desire for something I don't have. I want a house, maybe desire for something that I don't have. Yes, there are many things that we need in our life to live our life, and we need them. Of course, we have to decide what we need, and etc., etc. There also wisdom is required. But this desire for happiness, not only I want a car, but I expect myself to be happy through the car. So this is what I have to ask. Whenever mind comes up with the desire, I ask my mind, oh mind, what do you expect by fulfilling desire? Is it desire for something that you don't have? Or is it desire for happiness? If the mind says, I seek to be happy by fulfilling desire, then we have to remind our mind that, look mind, you are desiring something which you already have, and therefore that desire can never be fulfilled. So whenever a desire arises, Vedanta does not say suppress the desire, reject the desire, run away from desire. Says examine the desire. What is it that you seek to accomplish by fulfilling the desire? If you think that, you'll be happier than what you are. You'll be more peaceful than what you are by fulfilling a desire. Well then, understand that the objects of the world are not designed to give us happiness. Those day-to-day requirements to live the life, but they are not designed to give us happiness. They are not designed to give us peace. That happiness or peace we have to find from our own self. Therefore, a choice every moment between Shreyas and Preyas. A path of fulfilling my desires or likes and dislikes is against a path of giving up likes and dislikes. In every situation, these two choices are there. Should I satisfy my likes and dislikes? Should I satisfy my desires? Or should I grow out of desire? Not giving up desire, growing out of desire. Should I be seeking happiness from outside there? Or should I seeking happiness from within myself? But Swamiji, what should I do to get happiness from myself? Just change of attitude. We said that we have a free will and therefore we have the freedom to make choices. Although yesterday we saw that we have very little freedom. I cannot change the world. I cannot change many things. I cannot have my way in many things in the world. This poor man does not have his way even in what food he gets at his home. That also is decided for him. What I do at place of work, decided for me. Looks like Swamiji, everything is decided for me. Where is my free will? The free will is not in deciding what I do, in deciding the attitude with which I do. And that is where I have the freedom. And that makes all the difference. What attitude you are talking about, Swamiji? As Lord Krishna teaches, Karmanyevadhikarasya, you have the freedom to perform your action with the right attitude. What attitude? Lord Krishna teaches further. Says, hey Arjuna, there are basically two attitudes in life. One attitude is called yajna. Yajna means the attitude of offering, attitude of self-offering. You can say the attitude of being helpful, the attitude of being a contributor. Other is the attitude of self-gratification, ego gratification, sense gratification. That is the attitude of being a consumer. Therefore, every opportunity I can utilize, either for fulfilling my craving for self-gratification, either gratifying senses, gratifying my mind, gratifying my ego. Because this wealth and name and fame and power seem to give me happiness by gratifying the ego. And the objects of the world seem to give me happiness by gratifying my senses. But you say that is the choice of short-term gain, long-term pain. Because the problem with gratification is more gratification you provide, more it wants. First, 1 cup of tea was enough. Then slowly it grew to 1.5 cups of tea. Then there are people, in the morning, they will Swami have 3 cups of tea. Because for the same level of stimulation now, my needs are growing. For the same level of gratification, the needs will keep on growing. I become more and more dependent. I become a greater and greater slave. Therefore, Lord Krishna teaches that every moment you have this freedom to choose your attitude. Either you are a consumer or you are a contributor. You are a grabber or you are a giver. Swamiji, where does this attitude come from? Lord Krishna points out, hey, look at the universe. What is going on in the universe is a cosmic yajna, a cosmic sacrifice where every element in the universe is constantly contributing. That is how the whole universe is created. It is so designed that whatever is created here always contributes its own share in the scheme of things. Like in a clock, every part contributes something for running of the clock. Like in this hall, Every element, whether it's a pillar, it's a wall, it is ceiling, all of this contribute into the existence of the whole. Similarly, whatever is created is designed to contribute its own share into the scheme of things. And the rest of the world is programmed, and therefore they are programmed to contribute. Only the human being is not totally programmed. Human being has a certain freedom. I have the freedom either to be a contributor or to be a consumer. That freedom I have. That freedom others don't have. So they are automatically in harmony. Whereas I have to make the right choice to remain in the harmony with the order or the law existing in the universe. I am in harmony with the order when I am a contributor. I violate that harmony when my attitude is one of consumer. When I violate the order, I become violated in terms of increase of agitations, attachments and aversions. When I am in harmony with the order, then my mind is in harmony. It progressively becomes free from these attachments and aversions, from dependence. Every time I discover a satisfaction from my own self. It is our experience that whenever you perform even a small act of kindness, nothing big deal. We don't have to do big things, we have to do small things, and small things become big. They make up big. But it is our experience that whenever we perform a small act of kindness, it may involve a certain hardship on my part. Maybe I have to go out of my way to help somebody. It may involve some hardship, some little pain. But when I perform that act of kindness, when I see a satisfaction on the face of the other person, then that gives me a great satisfaction. It involved a little hardship in the beginning, but resulted into a great satisfaction. Path of short-term pain, long-term gain. And that satisfaction that I get from myself is not binding, it is freeing. This is the path of freedom. One is the path of bondage, dependence. Other is the path of freedom. So what is intelligent living? Living a life such that I progressively travel on the path of freedom. So coming to Kathopanishad, the two paths, Shreyas and Preyas. Preyas, the path of self-gratification. Shreyas, the path of other gratification. Self-centeredness, other-centeredness. Consumer, contributor. A grabber, a giver. The Kathopanishad says, the one who follows this path of Shreyas, Vijnana Sarthiryastu Manah Pragrahavan Naraha. When the Sarthi, when the charioteer, when that intellect has Vijnanam, has the right and discrimination, right understanding, has the wisdom. And when that wisdom is applied in making right choices of right attitudes, then slowly the mind becomes free from its attachments and aversions, becomes free from inner pressures and discomforts, and progressively starts becoming more and more comfortable, more and more abiding, happier and happier. So this is a path wherein we discover progressively an inner harmony. I find that I am with myself. I discover a happiness or satisfaction with myself. And that culminates into ultimately discovering the happiness, the limitless happiness, which is my nature. So thus, the living intelligently is making right choices. And these are the choices in terms of attitude. Wherever you can choose your action, do choose that. No doubt. Whatever choice you can do, do that. Wherever you feel that you have the freedom of making choices, make wise choices. But basically, it is the choice of the right attitude, which freedom nobody can deny. And that freedom is enough. This right attitude is enough freedom to enable us to reach our destination. What's the destination? I am the destination. This journey from myself to myself. The journey from ignorance to knowledge. Journey from aviveka, non-discrimination, to viveka, discrimination. That's what Vedanta teaches. In simple terms, life of intelligent living is the life of making right choices, maintaining right attitudes. This one attitude will bring all other attitudes in its wake. See, if you want to be a contributor, then your priority is now in finding ways of how to make somebody else happy. Whenever a freshly wedded couple would come to a Swamiji and ask Swamiji, what's the duty of husband and wife? Answer was very simple. See, this is a great setting for making us mature and wise and successful. Simple thing. This life, wedded life, marriage life. Swamiji, what is our duty? Swamiji says, look, the duty of husband is to make the wife happy, and duty of wife is to make husband happy. That's all. Hey, how can you? It's not easy to make somebody happy. I'm sure you must be all tried. It's not easy. But if you ask this question, when do I become happy? Then I will know when the other person will become happy. When do I become happy? When my likes and dislikes are satisfied. Meaning that you do what I like and don't do what I dislike. So if the husband wants to make the wife happy, the husband should know what are the likes and dislikes of the wife and accordingly do what the wife likes and avoid what she does not like. But it must two-way street, understand, not one-way street. Then wife also is committed to making husband happy. So she knows, she understands what are his likes and dislikes and does what he likes and avoid what he dislikes. If this simple rule can be applied in life, these two persons can create heaven. You don't need a third person for happiness in life. Enough. So when can you make somebody happy? You have to be sensitive, number one, to their needs and requirements. Is it not so? You may make mistakes and then you will learn, oh, I thought that I'll make her happy, she become unhappy. Okay, let me do it differently. Thus we can learn and grow. But this is a life of contribution, making the other person happy. For which I may have to perhaps give up my own likes and dislikes. I may have to give up my own likes and dislikes, which may be painful in the beginning. But when I see the other person happy, that pain is worthwhile. And this is the life of a contributor, making other person happy. For making other person happy, I should be sensitive to other person, what their needs are, how to try to fulfill. You may not be able to fulfill, try to fulfill those needs. That makes me other-centered, makes me a sensitive person, makes me a giver, makes me a more charitable person. In my life now, my life is not merely confined to my small self, it is an inclusive life where I include somebody else. So Lord Krishna teaches that ultimately, hey Arjuna, you can grow to such a point that you can include the whole world. It's a huge thing, tall order, but we can progressively do. And that is the life which brings us fulfillment. That is the destination. When we grow so much, that you do not need anything for your being happy, meaning that just contributing itself makes you happy. You don't need something separate to become happy. A very act of contribution, as I said, one small act of kindness generates happiness in me. I don't need any ice cream and rasgulla to be happy. Meaning that I am myself enough to make myself happy. At the same time, I am myself enough to make myself unhappy also. By being a consumer, a grabber, expecting the world to make me happy, I am enough to create misery for myself. And my attempt to try to contribute creates a happiness within me. Thus, the path of intelligent living is the path of being a contributor. It doesn't happen overnight. Moment I try to think of it, immediately questions will ask, Swamiji, if I start contributing, what will happen to me? The world will take advantage of me, etc., etc. These questions arise. But when we try doing this, slowly we find answers. I say, don't right away jump or plunge into it. Do good step by step. Perform one act of which tell children, perform one act of kindness in it, just one act. And write in the evening, what did I do today? And write also how I felt. If one act of kindness makes me happy, I will be then motivated to do 2x, 3x. Slowly and slowly discover what it is to contribute. How being a contributor, how it contributes to me actually. I think that I am contributing to others, in fact I am contributing to myself. As we discover the effectiveness of this, we are encouraged to adopt more and more of that. And our life becomes a life of giving and growing. There is a way to grow in that maturity. A person who is always a grabber is an emotionally immature person because his mind is full of attachment and aversion, desire and anger, and therefore at every moment he reacts. We give the example of that person who threw away his candy because his demand was not satisfied. After 25 years, he throws away a job because his demand is not satisfied. A demanding person is an immature person. A giving person is a mature person, and thus we grow in our maturity. We grow in inner comfort, inner comfort, inner satisfaction, in the path of true happiness and true success. That is what intelligent living does to us. Okay, I know my friend, looking at the watch, Swamiji, you are supposed to stop at 8 o'clock and you are going beyond that. But usually there are not many questions I take for granted, so I already answered questions. But anyway, we will conclude with the prayers. Don't go away, we are not finished yet. Anyway, everybody is in a great hurry. Okay. So here, there is one question. Any other questions? Nothing to do with what we talked, but anyway, this question, that's another problem. Questions are always tangential, it has nothing to do with what we talked about. But here's the question. In the Vedic text, complex and remote words and concepts are used. For example, in the Yajnavalkya and Maitreyi conversation, Maitreyi would have asked simple word like happy instead of immortal. She said, will I become immortal if I get this wealth? Why didn't she say happy? Why did she use the word immortal? These words and concepts confuse common people. This is my opinion. Please explain. You take up a textbook of physics and see how many words you understand. Take a textbook of chemistry, any textbook, how many words you understand. Every field of knowledge has its own technical words, and to understand them we need a teacher. Thus, Vedanta also has to be learned from a teacher. Otherwise, it can be quite confusing. And so, the words are not confusing. The words require a certain understanding, which is what we have to acquire from our teachers. Otherwise, what will the gurus do? That's why some keys are kept like that, So you always need a guru. Like here is a guru of, this fellow is a wrestler, a wrestler guru. And someone was learning wrestling from him. After a number of years of wrestling practice as disciple, he thought he knew everything. He was so arrogant, he says to his guru, come on, I'll challenge you. He said, you challenge everybody. He says, I challenge his guru. He started wrestling with his guru. This went on for some time, and then guru did something, and that fellow was flat. So this chap says, hey, you did not teach me this. He says, yeah, some keys I keep with myself. So that is called Katora Dao. That I did not teach you. It was meant for this occasion. Similarly, in every script, that is called scriptures, which always require a wisdom to understand, which is what we have to acquire from our teachers. And therefore, immortal is not a confusing word if you understand, because happiness, if they use, we think that we know what happiness is, which we perhaps do not. When word immortal is used, it explains what happiness really is. True happiness is that which is immortal. So thus there is a happiness which is mortal happiness, which is fleeting happiness, which comes and goes, and we think that is happiness. Therefore, the Upanishad uses the word immortality. What is immortal? That which comes and never goes. That is permanent, everlasting. So that alone is called happiness in true sense of the word, which is everlasting. Therefore, the word immortal is used there instead of the simple word happiness. Okay, and next question. Yeah, we have this cordless microphone, so you're welcome to ask through that. Yes.
So can you explain about karma?
Some other lecture will have karma, akarma, etc. Please ask what we talked about, then that would be really more meaningful. I know karma, akarma, but it's another thing, you see.
Swamiji, you talked about emotional maturity yesterday. So my question is, how do I react to the emotional immaturity of another person? I'm often tempted to surrender to that immaturity. Doesn't that show my own immaturity and what I'm choosing?
Yeah. So how does my maturity express when I confront an immature person? So number one, as a mature person, you recognize that this person is immature. That's first recognition. Second is that when you know that person is immature, see, understand that a person is not immature by choice. Immature because he's immature. Meaning that doesn't know how to be mature, doesn't know what the benefits of being mature are. Therefore, a person is immature, thinking that this is what I should be. So, in immature other person, which immaturity may express as anger, as demands, as complaints, that's how immaturity. So when you find demanding person, complaining person, blaming person, call it immature person. Our usual approach will be to react to that person. Oh, why are you saying this? Instead of that, what does a mature person do? A mature person offers a two-step response. One-step response is to react to other person in the same terms. The two-step response is to recognize that the immaturity is something that he cannot help. He is helpless as far as this behavior is concerned. He is a demanding person, but helplessly demanding. Something pressurizes in him or her to make himself demanding or complaining. And that shows a certain helplessness. So when we see that helplessness, then our sympathy or compassion arises for that person. Meaning that to an immature person, we respond with sympathy or compassion, with an understanding. That may even help that person to become mature in course of time. When the person finds that in spite of my complaint, in spite of my anger, in spite of my improper behavior, he is a person who is responding with kindness, with compassion, then that message reaches the person. Sometimes, more than words, our behavior reaches the person. And it is possible that that person may be motivated in course of time. So, as best as possible, we try to respond with sympathy or compassion, which arises from an understanding. Then it will lasting compassion. Compassion for the sake of compassion doesn't work. When there is understanding, then it becomes a genuine compassion.
I will piggyback on the same question. So you said respond with sympathy, compassion, and understanding of the situation. Does that mean falling prey to their demands? And part two of my question is, you have repeatedly talked about pleased self as the core of Vedanta learning. But what do you do when your pleased self is constantly disturbed by the chaos and unintelligent, or just like you said, childish people that are around in your life? How do you keep that pleased self when you have to deal with that on like day-to-day basis?
Yes, first question is, when we say that we treat that person with sympathy or compassion, does it mean that we keep on fulfilling their demands? No. Compassion is an attitude. And with that attitude, you respond to the situation. If in your wisdom you feel that the demand is worth fulfilling, do that. Saying that demand should not be fulfilled, do that. Sympathy or compassion is not a name of an action, it is an attitude. Then you are an objective person. Then you do not react to the situation, you act in a situation. Then you will be able to decide objectively whether to fulfill the demand, what to do is what you will be able to decide when the mind is objective. When our mind is not objective, we react and make the situation worse. So, what is meant is that you respond to a situation which you consider appropriate in an objective manner, not as a reaction, but in an objective manner. So this sympathy or compassion enables you to enjoy an objective mind with which you can assess the situation, come to an understanding, then decide, and then respond. You follow? The second thing is, what if I am surrounded by immature people? How can I maintain my sanity? Same thing, by the attitude of compassion, sympathy or compassion. That does not mean giving in to their demands. That does not mean doing what they want you to do. It means that you have a sympathetic understanding for them where they are coming from. They are coming from an immaturity, coming from a lack of understanding, coming from wrong understanding. You see that. And then you respond appropriately. But that way, you will create a distance. When people are immature around us, and we also respond in an immature way, then we lose our pleased self. But to those immature persons, you respond in, like they are children, you know. All mothers know, child is immature. All kinds of demands they have. It doesn't mean that you fulfill every demand of the child. You decide whether this demand is good for the child or not. So, being surrounded by immature person need not be a problem as long as we have a right attitudes. Not easy, but it is possible. In fact, all these situations demand that we have to grow. And that is what human life is meant for. More we grow, meaning more we grow in emotional maturity, meaning more we grow in our compassion, in our charity, in our giving, in our contributing. More you grow in that, a greater person you are, happier person you are, more successful person you are. And therefore, success in life is to be measured by how much of that wealth you have earned. This external wealth is one kind of wealth. This is the inner wealth. In Gita it is called Daivi Sampat. It is called divine wealth in terms of sympathy or compassion or charity. And more wealth you accumulate there, happier and more successful you are. I know it's not easy, but that's what it is. As I said, there are two parts. One is the road, which is very smooth, tree-lined road, very tempting. Other is a rough road and discouraging. But the rough road, if it takes you to a destination, that's what you have to choose. Short-term pain, long-term gain. So all these attitudes involve the short pain, no doubt about that. Because we have to control our own reactions, control our own likes and dislikes, which is painful. But ultimately, it results into a long-term happiness.
Swamiji, how to achieve emotional integration in life with respect to nature?
Is it reference to?
With reference to nature. Or universe.
Nature.
Nature and universe.
How to get integration?
How to achieve emotional integration in life.
With reference to nature means nature around, or nature means your own nature?
Nature around us as well as in the universe with respect to man.
Anyway, as we said, the way to attain harmony is with the right attitudes that we discussed here in the evening. That is what enables you to be in harmony with yourself. And when you are in harmony with yourself, you are in harmony with nature. The reason why we have difficulty in being in harmony with the outer world is because we don't have harmony within. But when you have harmony within, there is harmony without. So when you are in harmony with your nature, you are in harmony with the external nature also. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.